Tonight on ELN Local News.
This is going to be a hard loss for all of us.
Hallmates remember ELN student John Varney.
Plus, fighting for your vote, an inside look at the 6 candidates running for Alamance County Commissioner.
And shooting for the title. History tonight as the men's basketball team plays in the CAA semifinals. We'll have coverage from Washington.
All that and more.
ELN Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at ELN University School of Communications, you're watching ELN Local News.
Good evening, I'm Brian Ray.
And I'm Maeve Ashbrook. Thanks for joining us for the final ELN Local News before spring break.
Today, family, friends, and students gathered at the ELN Community Church to remember education professor Julie Justice. Justice died February 28th following a battle with an autoimmune liver disease. Today at the funeral, attendees were asked to bring a book meaningful to them that they wanted to exchange. Assistant Professor of Communication Design William Moner met Justice through their children's school. For the exchange, the Moner family brought a book that they say has a special connection to Julie Justice.
It's all about this little kid who discovers that for some reason his butt is no good and that he needs a new butt, and it made her laugh uncontrollably. Her specialty was children's literature, and so she always wanted to find new ways to engage with kids, but she also really liked to laugh.
All new money raised from Justice's GoFundMe account will now go toward Julie's Malawi Book Project, which provides books and resources to underserved Malawian school children. We provided a link to the GoFundMe on our website. Just visit elonnewsnetwork.com and search Julie Justice.
This morning, another one of its own tonight. Freshman John Varney died Friday at the age of 19 after a 2.5-year battle with bone cancer. A vigil was held last night in the sacred space in Newman Lumen Pavilion. Our Liam Collins tells us how Varney will be remembered.
Finding the right words.
I imagine that it's hard to know what to say right now.
To remember a life cut short.
He cared about all of you, and I know all of you cared about him.
His optimism.
John was one of those kids who always had a smile on his face.
Freshman John Varney died on Friday at the age of 19 after a nearly 3-year battle with osteosarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer. He was a DC native and a Boston sports fan. He was also a friend.
You always ready to have fun, always having a good time.
Joseph O'Keefe lived on the same hall as Varney.
He FaceTimed me and told me that it wasn't coming back. He still had a smile on his face. He still said that we should play some PS4 sometime.
To find those right words that summed up that contagious smile, one filled this room just as much as the people inside it.
Very, very happy. He's family to all of us. And this is going to be a hard loss for all of us.
A loss that O'Keefe says he never could have imagined in September, when Varney's strength was at its peak.
Those were some of the worst days of my life. But now I'm doing an interview at ELN, so I know pain. It's just temporary. It's not gonna last long. So I know it always gets better. Life's not in a hospital bed in agony from appendicitis. It's walking around Young Commons, just enjoying the day.
Liam Collins, ELN Local News.
Services for John Varney are being held this week. Visiting hours are from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. this Friday, March 13th at Joseph Galler's Sons Funeral Hall. And a funeral service will be held at 3 p.m. this Saturday, March 14th at St. Columba's Episcopal Church, both in Washington, D.C.
Fears of the coronavirus are causing gas prices in the state to drop less than a week before ELN students go on spring break. The price is suspected to be dropping due to people traveling less. Right now, the Circle K in ELN is $2.05 for a gallon of regular gas. That's 15 cents lower than the statewide average and nearly 25 cents lower than the national average.
There are 2 cases of the coronavirus or COVID-19 in North Carolina as of this week. And according to the Centers for Disease Control, the number of confirmed cases in the U.S. is at 423. Our Grace Morris took a look at the best way to keep yourself safe from the virus.
What started in Wuhan, China has now spread throughout the globe, but as the virus spreads, so do misconceptions on how to prevent it. One method being used to prevent COVID-19 is wearing a surgical mask, but according to university physician Jeanette Archinal, this might hurt you more than it will help.
There is no medical, clinical, health department, state department in any Western country recommending that people wear masks to prevent you catching it. Masks don't prevent you catching anything. What a mask does is prevents you, if you're infected, from spreading it to somebody else.
But Archinal says that hand sanitizer will work to prevent catching COVID-19 or most viral illnesses.
Hand sanitizer is essentially alcohol, okay? And a high enough percentage of alcohol kills viruses and bacteria. But needs to go on the palm. You need to work it between your fingers. You need to make sure it gets everywhere. And then you need to let the hand sanitizer dry.
And there are a few for sure ways you can limit your risk.
Wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, don't touch your face, don't share drinks.
Archinal says that while people tend to be scared of the unknown, she hopes that the world will come together in order to fight COVID-19.
People need to get a grip. It's not one person, it's not one country, it's not one economic class. Viruses and bacteria don't care about borders, they don't care about nationality, they don't care what your passport says. So we need to focus on our own health and the health of those around us.
Grace Morris, ELN Local News.
The countries with the largest number of coronavirus cases are Italy, South Korea, and China. As of now, Elon University is preparing for campus to possibly be affected, but is continuing normal operations. In an email sent out from Vice President for Student Life, John Dooley, he confirmed there are no known cases of COVID-19 on campus.
The CDC is also recommending travelers to reconsider traveling on cruise ships. With spring break starting at the end of this week, Elon students are backing out on their plans. Kaylee Mehta, a former Elon student that graduated last semester, was set to go on a cruise starting in Florida to the Grand Cayman and Bahamas. She says she made the decision because she was afraid about not being able to come back to the U.S.
We're more worried about getting quarantined than I would say getting the actual virus, just because we are young and it doesn't tend to affect the younger adult age group that much. If you get it, you tend to be fine. But we don't want to be stuck on the boat for 14 days if someone is suspected to have it.
CDC officials say older adults and people with prior medical conditions are at a higher risk, but Mehta is still disappointed her plans had to change.
It's frustrating just because now it's kind of dramatic with the whole, should we change location? Should we not go at all? Should we just go to Florida? But then at the same time, it's not like anyone could have prevented the fact that this virus situation happened.
Students that have canceled their spring break plans and plan on staying on campus are asked to go to the Residence Life page on elon.edu to request housing before this Wednesday.
Six people are running for Alamance County Commissioner. Our Lauren Single spoke with each of them about their plans.
From zoning.
And I think we don't have county-wide zoning at right now, but I think that's something maybe we should definitely look at.
To education.
There's never been a commissioner on our Board of Commissioners in this county that's been as strong of a champion and proponent for our school system as I've been.
3 Republican and 3 Democratic candidates are campaigning this year for an Alamance County Commissioner slot. Out of the 6, only 3 will be elected. Kristen Powers, Bob Byrd, and Dreama Caldwell are running as Democrats, while John Paisley Jr., Bill Lashley, and Pamela Thompson are running as Republicans. One of the biggest issues to candidates is the economy.
If a tax increase is required to meet our needs and to make the investments that we need for our future, for everybody's future, then I'm not opposed to it.
I'm the only candidate to have voted for a tax decrease while maintaining benefits and resources.
Education is another topic concerning them. Improving local schools is at the top of the to-do list for many of the candidates.
So we need to make sure that we have strong public education as well. And that means supporting our teachers and our staff.
I've seen what comes into a school on the back of a kid. It's so unfair. And one of the things I pushed for in 2017 was for our school system to get mental health services.
Everyone has a similar word that they always use that they think that would make our schools better. And the word is discipline. They took discipline out of the schools. And we all know that kids you will get the behavior that you accept.
Even if we did an additional investment of about $7 million a year, that we could dramatically improve the situations of our schools.
Candidates have different platforms when it comes to improving the community as a whole.
But I first of all want the administration for the vets to have their own center.
The campaign is based a lot on community interactions, so being present at community events.
We need to support law enforcement, safety for our children in schools.
The issue that I really want to focus on is maybe immigration. You know, it's the hot ticket in Alamance County.
Lauren Singles, Elon Local News.
The general election for the county commissioners will take place this November. And the search for Elon's new director of safety and police is ongoing. Here in the studio to talk about this process is Maria Ramirez, who sits on the committee. We should mention that Maria is an ELN contributor, but is serving on the board in a separate capacity. Maria, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so what's it like being the only student on the search committee?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge honor to be nominated to be on the committee, particularly as the only student. It was definitely a little nerve-wracking. I don't know a lot about police. I definitely don't know a lot about searches. It's been really interesting to be on this side of this process, particularly because as a senior, I'm applying to jobs myself. So I'm kind of looking at the way Elon proceeds with getting someone to fill this very important role.
Yeah, and so what are some of those main qualifications that the search committee is looking for in these candidates?
Yeah, so I think one of the main things is an interest in community policing, right? So policing for a campus and a university is completely different from policing just a town, but in general, community policing is a huge emphasis I know we've had. And then on top of that, Dennis Franks, who was the former chief, allowed the police department to become ICLEA certified, which is a really big honor. And so I know that's another factor, is someone who really knows about the certification process and will continue to have Elon be an accredited police department.
Great. Has there been any discussion about open record laws with the candidates?
I spoke with one candidate particularly about it. Different members of the search committee were able to go to dinner with separate candidates when they came on campus. So I spoke with one of them about it, but it hasn't been a kind of huge conversation on the table for most of the committee members.
Thank you so much for joining us, Maria.
Thanks so much for having me.
The Performing Arts Center had a busy weekend. We talked to one Elon dancer about why this was an important weekend.
And we'll tell you how the men's basketball team is doing in the conference tournament and what happens in these final moments.
It's a busy week in Phoenix sports, and Anne-Marie Bonner is here to tell us all about it. Anne-Marie.
Elon's men's basketball is continuing its historic run. They're fighting through a Colonial Athletic Association tournament for the first time in program history. Our John Sarver Jr. is in Washington for us tonight.
I'm at the Entertainment and Sports Arena here in Washington, D.C., the site of the CAA Men's Basketball Championship Tournament, where Elon has advanced to the CAA semifinals for the first time in program history. In order to get to this point, the Phoenix have pulled off two thrilling victories. The first was a come-from-behind victory against James Madison. The only time the Phoenix led all night was 3 seconds before the buzzer when Marcus Sheffield II hit a game-winning shot to put the Phoenix up in a 63-61 victory. Last night, the number 7 seeded Phoenix upset the number 2 seeded College of William & Mary with a final score of 68-63. Despite being underdogs, Elon led through the entire game. Freshman guard Hunter McIntosh said that the mindset they developed during the season led to their postseason success.
I think that attitude is just showing. You know, we have belief in ourselves, belief in our work. So I think some of it is starting to come to fruition.
Reporting from Washington, D.C., John Sarver, Elon Local News.
There will be a watch party in Mosley Student Center tonight at 8:30 for anyone interested in watching the team play. This week, the women's basketball team is also preparing for their conference tournament. The CAA tournament is right at home for them. It will be the first CAA basketball tournament ever to be hosted by Elon University. They'll be tipping off at the Schar Center against the Hofstra University Pride Wednesday at 4:30. The Pride are currently winless in the CAA, the Phoenix beating the Pride both times this season. Make sure to follow our team at ELN Sports. That's it for sports. Brian and Maeve.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. We have a rundown on the stories in this week's edition of The Pendulum with Matt Reichenbach. Matt?
This week in The Pendulum, we look into what it means to be a female athlete for the Phoenix. We analyze Elon campus community contributions to 2020 presidential candidates, and we get a first look at campus's first Black Belong magazine, meant for all Black identifying individuals on campus. Be sure to pick up a copy of The Pendulum this Wednesday, and from all of us here at The Pendulum, have a safe and healthy spring break. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Matt. And Elon News Network will also have one more ELN morning broadcast before spring break this Thursday morning beginning at 10 a.m.
Coming up, will the warm weather continue into spring break? I'm bringing you the Phoenix 5-day forecast.
Quinn Corrigan is outside on Citroen Plaza with your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Quinn?
Maeve and Brian, the warm weather will definitely continue this week, so bring out those shorts and t-shirts, but do not forget your raincoat. It is definitely going to be warm, just like it was today, so let's get right into the Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow it will be cloudy with a high of 67 and a low of 51. There will be some afternoon showers, but it'll be pretty nice for the morning. On Wednesday, it will continue to be warm, but it is unlikely that we will get to see the sun. There will be a high of 71 and a low of 49. Thursday, there is a high of 74 and a low of 59, but there will be cloudy skies and some afternoon thunderstorms. Friday morning showers will come right to us with a high of 71 and a low of 45. Saturday, for those spring break departures, the temperatures will drop to a high of 59 and a low of 44. And it will be cloudy. That's it for your Phoenix 5-day forecast. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Quinn. And this month is Women's History Month, and some students feel like the university is not doing enough to celebrate. Senior Eliza Quigley is currently enrolled in a Women and Gender Studies course and says a more well-rounded celebration starts with the Women and Gender Studies department.
I think social media does a good job celebrating Women's History Month, but I think it would be really cool to see Elon have programs and have speakers, especially as a woman.
Now, Belk Library has a new display of books with women's authors, and University Archives has a special collection related to Elon's women's history all month.
The first graduate of Elon's African and African American Studies major is on campus today. Swandi Mustaqim gave a special lecture to students and professors to celebrate 25 years of the major at Elon. Current coordinator of the program, Dr. Longmire Avital, welcomed Mustaqim, praising her success and the growth of the major.
One of the first kind of interdisciplinary minors on campus that focused on a historically marginalized voice, and I'm just so honored that I'm the coordinator at this momentous time.
If you attended today and you're interested in Mustaqim's book, Slavery at Sea, you can find it on Amazon.
This weekend, spring and winter meant more than just times of year. The dance department performed Rites of Seasons. The show was produced by 4 choreographers and about 40 dancers. Dancer in Rites of Seasons Jenner Kulox says that the hours of rehearsal really paid off, and this show has taken the department to the next level.
This is a new level for us. I think our dance performances are always, we work really hard, but this is a way for us to immerse different artists, singers, and everyone, and I just feel like it's really special to have the opportunity.
If you missed the spring dance concert this month, the senior dance thesis performance is next month in the Performing Arts Center as well.
What do breakdancing, chemistry, and coding have in common? Find out next.
You're watching Elon Local News.
This week, Elon will be hosting a political panel. University President Connie Boak will moderate it tomorrow night, featuring reporters Meg Kennard and Jim Morrill, as well as the chair of the Political Science Department at Catawba College, Michael Bitzer, and Associate Professor of Political Science at Elon, Jason Husser. The panel will focus on the results of the state's primary election and the potential impact of the general election. It's tomorrow at 7 p.m. in McCrary Theater in the Center for the Arts.
Elon alum Sean Patterson is breaking down the elements of hip-hop to empower minorities to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM. Our Amanda Gibson has more.
Breakdancing, chemistry, and coding seem like an unlikely trio, but for Sean Patterson, Elon class of 2014 alum, the three meld together as a perfect group.
Hip-hop is definitely inherently scientific, although people don't really realize it. It's just a matter of exploring that science and finding an intersection among those three.
He's using those elements to empower minorities to get involved in the STEM field through his business Breaking Bonds and Bites.
I was just finding that I was like the only African-American black male in these fields, and I was like, that's not right. That's not cool.
Using hip-hop as a teaching mechanism is not a new idea. Patterson said he was inspired by a professor at Columbia University who is using rap to teach science to urban youth.
And I had been breaking for a long time, and I was like, yo, if I could do that with another element of hip-hop and really expose people to another angle of hip-hop that they're not getting from the mainstream media, we can really clear up a lot of misconceptions of what hip-hop really is.
Patterson was on campus on Elon Day to raise funds for Breaking Bonds and Bites. He says he wants to teach this class for free, something his tennis coach did for him in the past.
Taught me for 2-3 years at a time for absolutely free, just because he saw I worked hard. And I want to give other people the opportunity to do the same.
Amanda Gibson, Elon Local News.
To contribute to Patterson's business, you can find a link to his GoFundMe on our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Well, that's all the news we have for you today. Thanks for joining us.
For more information when we are not on the air, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And make sure to follow us on social media at Elon News Network.
Have a great week, Elon.